This here is my 2000 Chevy Camaro Z28. Now it does have an SS style hood on it, but is not an SS, just a Z28. It does have the LS1 automatic transmission. I was hoping to do a little bit of a cooler video on the car when I did one, but that's not how it went. So anyhow, I was driving the car when the weather was nicer, and a friend of mine noticed it had a clunking sound when the starter was cranking. So I kind of parked it for a little while and thought maybe the starter was loose. I had recently seen a video from Diablo Formula Racing where his starter had come loose and broke the block. So I parked the car thinking maybe that's what it could be until I was able to get under there and check it out. Finally was able to get underneath the car, check the starter. It was fine. So I thought maybe something inside the starter was going bad or something like that. So I started driving it a little more again. Well, anyhow, weather got a little colder, and I had it parked in another building, and I needed to move it. So I went to go move it. The battery was dead, so I swapped batteries in it, pulled it outside, and because the battery was changed and it had to go through relearn, it was idling a little bit lower than normal, and I noticed it sounded like the motor was knocking. So I did end up getting a video of it, which I will show you here. I took it on my phone, but just you'll have to listen. It's kind of hard to hear sometimes, maybe not, depending on what setting you're in, but I'll play it a couple times, but mainly listen for it after I let off the throttle and it goes down to the low RPMs. That's when you can really hear it. So you can take a listen here. So, as you can tell, that didn't sound very good. I was fairly concerned. I didn't think it sounded like a rod knock, but I knew it didn't sound good. So, I at that point, considered getting rid of the car, and which I really hated to do. It was something I really wanted when I got it. Granted, I've had it for 6 years now, but I haven't put a ton of miles on it. It's got just barely under 100,000 on it right now. Anyhow, so I went and looked at some cars, decided they were kind of expensive for a newer Camaro, like a 5th gen. But so I decided to take a little bit of a closer look, see what was going on with it. Because like I said, I knew it wasn't a rod, but it sounded like it was coming from the bottom of the motor. So I pulled the starter and the transmission inspection cover, I guess you'd call it. And I didn't take a video, but I do have some pictures, and I'll show you what I found there. So as you can see, the bolt is sticking out quite a ways on the. That was just the one. That was the worst one. The other ones were up against the I guess flex plate, but they were very loose. Now when I took these out, I did notice they appear to be factory bolts, but I did not see any Loctite on them. Now I might be wrong on this, but I believe the factory torque spec was like 84 or 86 foot-pounds, which isn't a lot. But there was no sign of any Loctite on these, which I purchased new ones from GM, which by the way were about $7.50 a piece. A little pricey, but I mean I only needed 3 of them, and that was definitely the cheapest fix that it could have been, so I really wasn't too upset about it. But anyhow, they came with Loctite on them already, so I don't know if maybe somebody had taken the bolts out and just cleaned off the Loctite really well, because I'll pick up another picture here. But I don't see any traces of it on there, so I'm not sure if it just didn't get Loctited from the factory. I did purchase the car with about 85,000 miles on it, so there is a chance that the trans was out of it. I don't believe it was, but who knows. I do have another picture of the bolt head I'll include there. Looks like that one bolt actually came out far enough to hit the block, and you can see where the head is worn a little bit there, which is, I'm sure, what the noise was I was hearing. So luckily I did find that before it caused too much damage. Unfortunately, I can't see the back side of the block without taking the trans out, so I don't really know what kind of damage it did. I'm hoping not too much, it being aluminum, but you know, there's no leaks or anything. Nothing pouring out of the back of it, so hopefully it's all good. Anyhow, so I put the new torque converter bolts in it, and I will hopefully the battery's not dead in it again. See what she sounds like. Battery died there, but hopefully you can tell it is no longer knocking, so that by far was the best scenario it could have been. So luckily I got that fixed, and hopefully the next time I make a video about this car, it'll be about something a lot cooler than motor knocking. But I do have some plans for it. Hoping to get some things done to it before the weather gets nice again. I do take it to the drag strip occasionally, have a little bit of fun with it. It's not anything overly fast. It's pretty much a stock car. It's just got a few things here and there, which I'll go over in another video when I do some modifications to it. But yeah, hoping the funds come through, and I'll be able to purchase the parts I need to get the modifications done, like I said, before it gets warm out. So if you're interested, stay tuned, and I will get a video up of that. And like I said, I'll go over some of the other things about the car in that video, what I've done to it already. Like I said, not much, but as you can tell, a couple exterior modifications to it. The SS hood was on it when I bought the car. I did not do that. That was actually pretty much the only thing not completely stock about the car, even though it is stock style hood, I guess. But anyhow, if you like the video, hit the like button. Please subscribe. Would really appreciate it. Try and get some more views there, so every little bit helps. And have a good day.